Alright, how's it going? I'm Dazmark, photographer extraordinaire. I've been doing this for over 12 years now, and I've made this channel just so that I can share my knowledge because my head's exploding with it. So I'm going to share everything that I've learned over the last 12 years being full-time photographer, weddings, commercial work, family work. So today's topic is about negative space. I've got my notes. Told you I love stationery. So I've got my notes and we're going to go through negative space. So this here, between us, this is a space where we can confide in each other. This is a positive space, but negative space is something that I use a lot as well in work. I use it at weddings, I use it at family shoots, I use it for my commercial clients, especially the restaurant and drink industry. And I'll get into the reasons I use it at each one and why I use it and why people really love it, but they hate to admit that they love it. So first up, negative space is something that I've always done, even from studying photography in college. I used to go to college on an evening and learn photography there, and negative space is something that I was always drawn to, and I always did it without even knowing that I did it. I used to get comments off other students like there's too much sky. I liked it in my pictures and I was really drawn to that. So when they used to say that to me, I was kind of disheartened, but secretly I was like, there's not enough sky in your pictures. You need more sky. That's what I'd think, but I wouldn't say that. I was too polite. So I guess there's a lesson in there somewhere. Don't listen to other people. If you like it, you do it. If you don't like it, do it anyway, because I'm telling you, that's why you're watching this video. Negative space can be anything from skies. You can make your own negative space. It could be the ocean, it could be trees, it could be the ground if you got really low. So negative space is just anything that's drawing your attention to what you want the viewer's attention to be focused on. And that's what it's great for. If you've got kids playing in a field, for example, and you've got loads of sky and you've just got them playing, it's going to draw your attention to them because they're the only important thing in that picture. It's going to draw your attention to those. So you can use negative space in a number of ways, and I'm just going to go through each one and why I think it's important. So let's do that now. Let's go. Are you excited? Yes. Are you positive about this negative? So just to start, I just want to say I have two lenses that I go to that I shoot really wide with. I've mentioned them before. I've got this 16-35. I've just got this, so I haven't actually used it at a wedding yet. I've used it on family shoots and I've used it for commercial clients. I've used it in a restaurant. I was paid to be there. I wasn't just photographing my dinner. It shoots really wide and it's lovely and it's great for getting negative space, especially at the 16 end, obviously. And the other lens that I use is the 24-70, which you are currently using right now. So how do you like it? Is it good? This is about, I think this is about 30mm. Right is left, left is right. So as you can see, there's quite a bit in there. So if I went over to one side, look at all this negative space that you've just created with my lens. Wow. Is this a good lesson? So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have to have a really wide lens, but the wider lens, the easier it is. You could do it with a 35mm. You could do it with a 50mm by going really far back and just shooting up or down, whatever your preference is on life. But you can create negative space with any lens, but the wider the lens, the easier it is to kind of capture the whole sky, the whole scene, however you want to put it. So my first good reason to use it is, I've mentioned it already, but it draws attention. If you're photographing, maybe it's a bride coming down the aisle and you've got a huge church. If you photograph that whole church, it's a bit boring. Churches are a little bit boring. You know it. And you're going to be drawn to that bride coming down the aisle. If you just fill the frame with that, you'll be looking at a hair, a headpiece, a dress, a flowers, the bridesmaids. If you've got a whole scene of just the church and the bride's only this big, this could be a metre tall depending what screen you're watching me on. If the bride's only this big, then you're going to be drawn to it, but you're not going to be drawn to it so much that you're looking at all the detail as much as you would if she filled the frame. So you can really draw attention. Maybe you're photographing burgers for a food client and you've got the burger down here and you've got all this negative space. With that burger, you're taking in the whole scene. It's almost selling a lifestyle when you do this kind of thing, because if you've got the background with loads of negative space as the restaurant and you've got this burger, people are picturing what it's like to sit there with that burger in front of them. I'm hungry now, are you? I'm absolutely gutted actually, because I've got a cup of tea and I dipped my custard cream and half of it fell in my cup of tea, and then I had a drink and then I got all the bits of custard cream in my mouth and it was disgusting. It was horrible. So what was I talking about? So negative space. So negative space, yeah, do it. So yeah, it really draws attention basically. You create a scene and you're drawing attention to what you want the attention to be drawn to. It's really good. Also, it's perfect for the rule of thirds. You could put a product up here, down here, down here, up here, wherever it is. You know the rule of thirds. You've been doing this long enough. This should be the first thing you learn. Put it on the rule of thirds. It can look great. You can have all this empty space, all this boring nothingness, and then bang, right on the rule of third line or dot or cross section, wherever it is, place your person, your product, your child there and photograph that. And it'll just look lovely. It'll look lovely. Believe me, do it, try it, it's good. My second reason that I think it's really, really good is because you tell a story with negative space. When you shoot really wide and create all this negative space, what you're actually doing is you're telling a story. So whether that be a church, whether it be a wedding venue, and you're shooting up, so somebody's giving a speech and it's just him or her from this point upwards. Where am I? And you've got the entire venue. That's the negative space. You're telling a story. You're giving the viewer an idea of what it was like to be there. You're not just zooming in on somebody's face. You're telling a story, and it's perfect for that. And it also takes away, there's no, like I said before, there's no distractions. They're going to glance at that. They're going to be drawn to that. But there's not loads of distractions. You're not zooming in so far to say, that best man's got gravy on his collar, and it's a lovely picture because you're drawn to what you want it to be drawn. This was the best man's speech. You photographed the best man giving his speech and you're drawn to it, and there's not loads of distractions in the picture. Another reason I love negative space is because you can create your own negative space. So you can shoot through a door and a wall. You little creep, what are you doing looking through doors for? But you can shoot through that and create. I'm going to do it. Look at this stationery I got. That's a stamp for envelopes that I got. Isn't that cool? I told you I love stationery. So here's a door. Hang on. Here's a door. So we'll put that there. And then here's the wall. And the door's only a little bit closed. Like that. And then I'm going to go, hey, all right. So I'm in the negative space. And you're drawn to me because everything else is just nothing. Why would you be drawn to the black of a wall? So you can really draw your viewer's attention to what you want to by creating your own negative space. Maybe those are two columns at a venue. There's a column. There's a column. And they're set off and you stand in the right point and then you photograph the bride and groom or the kids, whatever it is you're photographing, through that point there. I've gone double visioned there. But you can photograph them through that column there. And it'll just draw the viewer's attention in, and you can crop that however you want to do it, and you'll just really draw the attention to that point. It'll just add impact to the photograph. So that's reason number 2, I think, or 3. I can't really remember. I think it's 3. I'm looking at my notes. That was tip number 3. Did you enjoy it? And reason number 4 why it's great. This is for commercial clients. If you give them a gallery of images and you've got some details of the food or whatever you were photographing, the product, you've got some close-ups, you've got some detail shots, but then you give them pictures with a load of negative space to one side or a load of negative space above it. When they're creating flyers and banners and headers for social media, that negative space is perfect for them to add their logo into. It's perfect for them to add text to because they're not going to be putting it over the product or over the picture. They're going to be putting it to one side in that negative space. So clients, especially in the commercial sector, they'll love you for it because they've got all this space to add the text and the information to, and they're not ruining the picture because the product's there next to the text now. So if you're photographing commercial work, get your normal ones that you'd normally get and then create some with negative space as well. And it's absolutely perfect for that. So that is it. That's my 5 reasons on why negative space is a positive thing. That's a good wordplay there by me. Just did that, made that up on the spot. What? I know, I'm just great. So in my 3rd or 4th year of photographing weddings, I actually had a bride at a wedding who we drove about for 40 minutes trying to find a field with some trees for the sunset because she said I was known for my pictures of sunsets and basically my negative space, my wide landscape pictures with a bride and groom in. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was known for that. She told me I was and I was buzzing, to be honest. But when she said that, I was like, oh, that's really cool. I love to do that. I thought people didn't really notice that. It was just something I did. But she sought me out because of that type of thing. I don't photograph a full wedding in that way. I don't put negative space in every single picture, but just add some in there, see what impact it has. Maybe you hate it, maybe you don't like it, and you don't have to stick with it, but give it a try, and I think personally that you'll love it. So give it a go. You might not like it, you might not want to stick with it. At least try it. That's what I tell my kids. At least try it. And if you don't like it, you'll eat it anyway. But with the photography, you can just not do it if you don't like it. But at least try it, give it a go. Your couples might absolutely love it. You might get known for it. You might get new couples that absolutely love you for that. So give it a go. Like I say, you don't have to buy new lenses. You can do it with a 35mm. You can do it with a 50mm. You could probably do it with a big zoom lens if you got far enough back. You might be 3 miles down the road, but at least you got the negative space. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, I would love a like or a comment or even subscribe. Wow, that'd be amazing. We can talk about things like aliens and serial killers, Indian food, red wine, chocolate, crisps. I could live on crisps. What's your favourite flavour? Mine is cheese and onion, cheese and chive, and then probably plain but with some dips, so like sour cream and salsa dips and a cheese dip. Plain Pringles probably. But yeah, photography stuff as well. If you like that, we can talk about that. We can talk about that anytime, whatever you want to know. So thank you so much for watching. I've absolutely loved having you here. I'm going to go and make another cup of tea that hasn't got bits of custard cream in it, because that was a bit bleh. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. You're the best. You're better than all the rest. Love you. Bye.